Well, I thought I'd give you a progress report. I've just tried grinding that on my sander. And I'm in the guard of it. Does, I think we can manage it. It won't be as good as on the other ones, because the problem is I haven't got a curved edge that I can do it on very well. I've tried it on there and it's a very, very shallow angle and it gets hot, you see, so you know, but I think this is the best way to do it. Well, it's the way I'm doing it, put it like that, for most of it. So you know, it's not going to be quite so good, is it, in that way. Now there's a lot of other things as well. I couldn't find a piece of pipe. I'll show you on here for that piece in the middle, right, that middle ring with the slot in it. I couldn't really find anything about the right size, except I found one of these 1/2 inch brass water elbows. So what I've done is, I can just show you, I cut one off there, you see, and I've just done it. I haven't finished it yet, as you can see, but I've done it on the belt sander. You know, there's plenty of meat on it, and I can leave that at the end, so that'll have a slot in it. Now the other thing is, as I say, I'm not making, this is a nice, you know, it's small, a nice, very pretty, well made little knife. And whereas that, you know, I don't want to do a shoddy work one, like I've seen, to be honest, because there's no excuse for shoddy workmanship. All it takes is a bit more effort. However, you know, sometimes you do have to compromise through lack of facilities and things. Anyway, what I'm thinking of doing is, that will be thinner, obviously, but it will be quite a lot thicker than that. If you can understand that, it goes that way round, of course, the handle does. Let me just close this knife up and then I can show you better, right? So it will be something like that, but the handle is nearly twice as big. Well, it won't be that, but when I'm finished it, as I said, because I've got the biggest problem I'm going to have, I think, is cutting the slot. And what I'll do is follow one of those glued joins round with my Dremel, with a little saw or something like that on it. That's the only way I've really got to do it, unless, you know, I mean, you can do it lots of ways, but I might even be able to do it with drilling it, but it wouldn't be very good, and it's pretty thin, as you can see, you know. So when I've finished it, the knife is going to sit about like that, if you can see that. So there will be plenty left in the bottom. So in other words, it's going to, imagine that finished, right? It's not, nowhere near finished, but imagine that sort of finished. The knife is going to stand out a lot higher than that one, because I want some meat left when I'm finished, you see. So say it goes about there, and that's quite a bit thinner. I want to leave at least, you know, that much to the bottom of the handle. So what I'm going to have to do, of course, is, unlike that one, which, if you can see where that is, it's in, let me just open it up again to show you. You see, that sort of sits in the middle of the handle, or mine won't. You know, it'll be further over this way, right? So the blade will be here rather than there, so it won't sort of line up quite like that. And I've got to have, obviously, a little step like that for it to lock against that ring, haven't I? You see, so the pivot point though on this one, as I showed you, is in the middle. Well, on mine it won't be. I'm going to have to move it further over to the back, right? To the front, sorry, to the front, so it sits out higher. So the blade won't actually pivot in the middle like this one does. Again, it's just little things we're going to have to do. So that's what we're trying to do anyway. But yeah, I was quite pleased with coming up with that idea actually, because as I say, it's not quite finished yet. I'll put it on the belt sander and tidy it up a bit more and give it a quick emery up when I'm finished, and then I can cut a slot in it quite easily with the Dremel, can't I? I want a reasonable slot. So the next job, which I won't just show you doing, you've seen some of me turning, so what I'll do, I'll just show you a brief little bit, not very much, of getting the handle done, or nearly done, because the problem is I've got to it's a bit, what's so difficult for me, because I've got to sort of finish the blade off before I can finish the handle off, if you understand, because I don't know where it'll come to, and I can't try it, because you've got to turn the tenon to go in here, so that size is set in stone, right? I have to turn a piece on this end there, that size, well, slightly larger, because I want it a tight fit. And the only thing left as well, by the way, I've said I can drill the holes in the blade when I know where to put it, but the only thing is I've got to find a drill and a pin that sort of fits, else it'll be sloppy, you know, and I can't have that. So that's something that might take a little while, and it might be, well, I won't say a problem, but it's something we're going to have to deal with a bit later on. Right, I'll set up and just do, you know, a little bit more of this job, because I want to get as much as this as I can done today for the mess. Yeah, that's enough to give you the idea, isn't it? Well, I got that tenon done. I just want to show you something. Right, we're set at 0, and I mark the inside of this, which comes out. You can, I think you can see that, it's glaring. anyway, 592. And if I mark this tenon like that, without moving it, that comes out at 597, right? 6 or 7, something like that. So what I said, I wanted to leave 3 or 4 thou on, well, I think that's as good as turning on a metal lathe, isn't it? I thought I'd just show you that, just to prove I haven't totally lost my touch. Well, I think you can see alright, I've got the handle done, look. And it's come alright. In fact, I'm pleased with it. But I nearly made a mistake, I'll tell you. Oh, I got it done, and I've played with it, and started parting it off with my little axle, like I showed you last time. I thought, oh, I hadn't sanded it, and the only reason I turned it was to sand it. So, we got away with that, but I can just show you, look, that, you see, that would nearly press on, right? So I've got that right, which is good. What I'm going to do, you see, is just the next job is to split that, and then I can just hold it on there and put it on the belt sander and clean it up that way. That's got to make that easy, isn't it? And just to show you how the knife will end up in it, that way around, maybe you can see there now. The knife has to end up about there. There we are, that way up. There you are. Just about, I want it to go, that'll be back a little bit. And I want it to go like 2/3 of the way in. So there's plenty left in the bottom when I've finished it, and that's all, that bit there is all waste, of course, you know. And then when it opens up, that has to spin round in a slot in there, you know how this works, and then you open it up, and then I have to just then cut this back side out, so when I get that brass ferrule on, that comes in line with it. So when I've finished, the slot in the back has to go up like that to stop it opening anymore. And the other thing is, after I've slotted it, I'm going to see if I can get something, either I don't know, a thin washer, or make something so it's tight. So instead of having a spring or a locking collar or anything, I thought of this, if I can do that, put something either side of it. I mean, I might even, with that being quite thick, you know, I might even be able to just crush it a little bit, and just to make it tight, so when you open it up it goes like that. So anyway, you can, it'll be, where are we? There, right? It will, when we've finished, because as I say, that is not, it's going to stick out like that quite a long way, so it comes round, pivots like that, and it will actually not be, as I said, it won't be central like that, it'll be a little bit that way. So when it's open, about there. So that's what it'll look like when it's open, with the cutting edge a bit lower than the handle. Anyway, there you go. Right, you've had you've had something to, we've had a bit of a report, haven't we? We've had a bit of a report, so, you know, we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's more grinding and this now, I think. I think that's the next job. We've got to sort of finish the blade off, and then without the back bit, and then see about slotting the handle, but that'll come another day, I think. I'm still don't know how I'm going to do that, but anyway, we'll find a way. Right. See you in a bit, lads.